because Lower Merion and Narberth and the surrounding area, we're inclusive. Lower Merion and Narberth is against hate.
Click on the links you're not looking to read. Join Facebook groups of those people that you unfriended about 3 months ago. Join those groups. Yes, it hurts when it shows that you like that group. But like that group so you can hear what they're saying and you can open your mind to the ideas that can come in. You don't have to agree with them, but at least you understand where they're coming from, and that is the first step to entering into a meaningful debate.
I thought about how proud I am of the students and administrators and school board of Lower Merion School District. Meanwhile, I get a message from our superintendent who had already drafted a letter, had already had conversations with his staff to say, this is what we're doing here in Lower Merion. Meanwhile, our kids are having amazing dialogue, disagreeing in some respects. I had some good conversations with my teenager who had friends and family who, friends who supported Donald Trump, quite frankly, but they had dialogue, they had conversations. She stood her ground and they theirs, and they walked away either agreeing to disagree, but still understanding this idea of mutual respect. That's what's so amazing about our community. That's what makes me be the proud leader of the Lower Merion School Board that I am. Mr. Copeland read the letter to the community. Initially, it went only to the administrators, but the tone of it, I think, really gave a clear sense of how proud we are of our students and how we know how to communicate with one another. We need to be the model. We have to set the example for the rest of the world, because I don't want my children or anyone else's children to deal with what some of my friends' children are dealing with on a daily basis when they go into schools where they no longer feel safe. My role as the president of the school board at a very fundamental level is to keep our kids safe. And that's not just safe from physical harm, but that's safe socially and emotionally. I want my kids to come home with the same spirit that they walked out of the door with, and that's our role as community members. So in closing, I want to say thank you to Jim, thank you to all our community leaders, and I know we have some rough times ahead, but I think together we can certainly make a real difference in the long run, and certainly we're looking out for our youngest generation and those who are really going to help us move forward with some of the ideals we hold true. So again, thank you for being here.
This morning I had the privilege, I invited, with the welcoming of my rabbi, an imam from the 47th Street Masjid in West Philadelphia, the largest Muslim congregation in West Philadelphia, brought him to Torah study with us, and he was welcomed, and it was a really interesting interfaith experience. We can do more with these acts of kindness than government can do by telling us what to do or defining those rights. Listen to others. Seek common ground. Own up to our mistakes, whether it be a healthcare system that doesn't work or other mistakes. Solve them. Be creative. Look for solutions. Be fierce and fight for what we believe in. Give no ground on civil rights or the environment.
Hineni means, here I am, here we are. And in this story, Abraham's response is the word Hineni, to show that he's ready to act according to his highest good as it unfolds in each moment. It's both his plea and his response to the question, what are the right steps for me to take right now? He comes back again and again in facing incredibly difficult circumstances, listening deeply to his own inner wisdom, to God's voice, changing course along the way as new circumstances shed light on the path he is to follow. So I say this afternoon, Hineni, Hinenu, here I am, here we are. Many of us absolutely still in shock, still kind of unable to imagine that we would be here today with the course of our country moving full speed ahead in a path that conflicts for many, but of course not all of us, with our very identity as Americans, as human beings, and for me and my community as Jews. And if we build this world with love, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, then God will build this world with love. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la.
Teacher, that was beautiful. Thank you.
You know, it's clear that our country is divided right now, and as a pastor, man, I wish I knew how to fix that. I wouldn't be here. I'd be writing a book and getting rich somewhere else. I don't know how to heal it. I know that we need to do a better job of listening to one another so we can build bridges and never walls. I know that when we insult one another, I know that when we insult one another, when we gloat, when we belittle, when we insult or demean anybody, then the truth is that none of us win. None of us win at all.
And the morning after the election, you know, I'm not going to lie to you, there was a lot of tears in our house. And Mary Jo woke up and said, "Stop crying, Bob." and she said, she quickly went through those phases of grief, and she said, "I have work to do. I have people to represent." And she decided the best way that she could move forward was to pour all of her energy into Emerge Pennsylvania, which is a group that she co-founded and co-chairs. And they recruit, train, and mentor Democratic women to run for office. So today, yes, please.
I am very involved in both the Philadelphia and the Pennsylvania Bar Association. I will say that I was and am worried and scared about the election results. I know a lot of people cried. I threw up. Different people react to not great news, and that's a mild way of saying it in different ways. Particularly concerned about civil rights advances, like criminal justice reform being put on hold, but also civil rights and freedoms being curtailed. I am an openly gay male. I don't have. So for those of you who are not aware, I mean, it is not against the law in the state of Pennsylvania or on the federal level to discriminate somebody based upon their sexual orientation.
Say it again, Larry.
It is not against the law in the state of Pennsylvania or at the federal level to discriminate against somebody based upon their sexual orientation. So the joke is that I could get married tomorrow, go to work Monday, bring in a picture of me and my husband, put it on my desk, and get fired. Now, there are some counties in Pennsylvania that... And get kicked out of my apartment. Now, there are some counties in Pennsylvania that do have anti-discrimination protections, but there is no statewide or federal anti-discrimination protection. One sad thing in our state right now, and I know this is not supposed to be political, but come January, there are going to be more Republicans in the Pennsylvania House and Senate than there are currently. So it's going to be really difficult to get bills through and to also stop bills from being advanced. Working for a nonprofit, I know how much we love donations of any size. Great, large donations are fantastic, but we appreciate $10 donations just as much, and if everybody standing here were to go back, when you go home, go on your computer and go to acloupa.org and make a $10 donation, again, all those small donations really add up. But just think about what you could do, because even though we're all individuals, we can all be like that rock that falls in a pond and has a ripple effect and can really create change. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. I want a big round of applause for this amazing group of community leaders. Thank you. I want to thank all of you for being here. I am truly and sincerely inspired that we could get this kind of turnout in a tiny town like this. This is amazing. Thank you all for coming. Give yourselves a round of applause. I want to say 3 things before I go, and they're the 3 things I tried to highlight. Actually, I want to read something to you first, and then I want to say 3 things quickly, and then we'll be done. I received this about 20 minutes before our event, and I'm going to leave the person's name out, but I was really touched by it. Bear with me. Hello, Mr. Nixon. No one calls me Mr. Nixon. Just wanted to thank you for this gathering. I am both Muslim and immigrant. I moved to Belmont Hills in August with 2 teenage boys. I have been a bit scared since the election, but I know I am one of those people who will not stand on the sidelines. I love helping others and want to see real change. He went on a little longer, but I was really touched by that, and I stand by that. So the first thing I want to say is when you see an act of hate or an act that disgusts you, stand up to it. And if you're the victim of it around here, call me. I'm a lawyer. I will help you, and I'm not kidding. Number 2, and if I could say it 100,000 times at the top of my lungs, I would. But next year, we have an election. The turnout's usually 18%. Please come out and vote. We need to be heard. And lastly, whether it's through any of the organizations you heard here today, or my personal favorite, the Narberth Democratic Club. But however you feel comfortable, find your niche, get involved, and make yourself part of something that goes forward. And if we all do that, the politics will take care of themselves. I promised you that. Thank you for coming.
Safety pins for anybody?
And we have safety pins up here. Take one, everybody.
Pass them around. They're from my daughter.